everyone. This is Dr. Tayyaba Rasool from Pakistan. You all are welcome to this online event. And thank you SIG-III and InfoLearn for organizing this online event to boost our research skills. And as well as this workshop is concerned, this workshop is designed to equip participants with the essential skills and knowledge to conduct systematic literature review and meta-analysis effectively. And first of all, I would like to invite for the welcome remarks to Dr. Lily. She is chair SIG-III and Associate Professor, Department of Knowledge and Information Science, University of Bilgand, Iran. Please, Dr. Lily, say some points or the remarks regarding the welcome to our participants and as a welcome note about the workshop.
Thank you so much, Tayyiba. Hello, everyone. Good morning, good evening, good afternoon, wherever you are. Most welcome to this event. I would like to thank Dr. Nushin and also our presenters and our moderator for organizing this great workshop. I'm sure that all of us will benefit from today's workshop. I just want to mention a few points regarding our SIG-III that SIG-III is like, as you know, with over 30 officers and volunteers are creating value and organizing great initiatives. Some of our initiatives are research wing, international contents paper, international cafe meeting, winter school, international reception, and guest speakers, and research workshops. That today is one of our workshops, thanks to Dr. Nushin for organizing this great event. And yeah, many initiatives. Our officers and volunteers are working hard on this, and I'm really thankful to everybody, including our participants, that really adding value for this initiative. So without a further ado, I know that all of us are like excited to just learn about today's workshop. So thank you so much, and Tayyiba, over to you.
Thanks Lily. Now Faiza is here. I would like to invite our first resource person, Ms. Faiza Bashir. She is Assistant Professor, Higher Education Department, Lahore, Pakistan, and she is well-renowned researcher in LIS. She has published several research articles in national and international journals. Ms. Faiza, please join our session. And to start your lecture, please.
Thank you so much, Taiba. Thank you for your nice words. And thank you so much, Lily, and especially Professor Dr. Machine for organizing such an event and giving us the opportunity to do the session and discuss our views regarding systematic literature review. So without wasting our time, I will share my presentation with you, and we will take a comprehensive look on the systematic literature review. What is it? And how to conduct a successful systematic literature review. As already Taiba told you that it's Faiza Bashir. So before the start of the formal session, just take a quick look on the outline of today's presentation. We will take a look on the systematic literature review definitions, its origins, different type, significance, characteristics, different steps to conduct a systematic literature review, different software and tools used for conducting a systematic literature review, especially with reference to covidence.
Sorry, Faiza, we are not seeing you. I'm not seeing your slides. I don't know if everybody is seeing the slides.
No. Faiza, please share your screen.
Let me. Yeah. Okay. Let me do it again.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah,
It will
yeah,
work
we're
now?
checking it.
Okay, thank you, Lily. Okay. So I'm talking about the systematic literature review. So before taking a look on the systematic literature review, just a quick recall of what is literature review basically. Literature review is basically a written on something about some specific topic. It's a general term for all attempts to synthesize the results and conclusions of at least 2 or more publications, at least 2 or more. So it combines both the summary and synthesis of the results. As far as the systematic literature review, or sometimes we call it systematic review is a formal and structured research study that seeks to find, assess, and analyze studies on a specific question. It basically, systematic literature review follows a defined search plan. It is something different from the literature review. In literature review, all the emphasis on researchers. It was on, basically, it was like a qualitative research, and the researchers everything is depend on the researcher's plans. However, in systematic literature review, we have to follow a definite search plan where the criteria is clearly stated before the review is conducted. Systematic literature review basically a comprehensive method that can be replicated and reproduced by any other researcher of any domain. In a simple word, we can say that systematic review is conducted according to the clearly stated scientific research method and designed to minimize the biasness and errors which is related to literature reviews. If we talk about the origins of systematic literature review, so systematic literature review
Faiza,
basically...
sorry to interrupt you. Could you please make it fully slide? Yeah, great. Thank you. Sorry.
Okay. So we are talking about the origins of systematic reviews. Systematic literature review basically originated in medical sciences and they are linked to evidence-based practices. And due to the large amount of medical literature, they required the systematic literature review in order to make some informed decisions. And the expansion of evidence-based practice has led to an increased variety of different type of systematic and different type of reviews. In today's world, systematic literature review are the most important research methodology in medical sciences, and not in medical sciences, however, in the other domain of in social sciences, information management, and different domains of social sciences as well. The reason to conduct or the significance of systematic literature review, basically the large amount of literature published in medical sciences. So they need to synthesize the results of the previously done researches. However, in these days, social sciences researchers are also using this methodology to synthesize and to summarize the results of the previously done researches. It's a transparent method. Anyone can replicate the study using the research methodology. And in systematic literature review, we use a standard set of different stages. There are some key characteristics of systematic literature review. The first one is basically its objective. In systematic literature review, we need clearly stated objective before the start or before the conduction of the systematic literature review. The other one is comprehensive search strategy. It is basically the main part of our systematic literature review, how to conduct a successful search strategy, how to modify your search, which kind of databases you have to include, which kind of search term you need to include, and what type of literature you want to include in your systematic literature review. Sometimes some researcher and reviewer include published material, sometimes they include unpublished material as well. So it's totally up to the reviewers what kind of research and what kind of studies they want to include in their systematic literature reviews. And the other one is the justification for the criteria of inclusion and exclusion. So you need to clarify everything. You need to clarify the inclusion criteria, exclusion criteria. What do you want to include in your review and what do you want to exclude? You need to report all these criteria clearly. And after then, the presentation is more important. You need to present the characteristics of the included studies for the comprehensive analysis of the methodological quality and all other things of the included studies. And in systematic literature review, the other characteristic, which is we consider researcher of the field consider most important, is quality assessment of the included studies. In literature review, we did not include the quality assessment. However, in systematic literature review, it's not possible without the quality assessment of the included studies. There are so many different quality assessment instruments have been published in the literature. So it's totally up to the reviewers and the authors which quality assessment tool they want to adopt for their specific study. The other step or other characteristics is analysis of the results. So you need to clear analysis of the result of the eligible studies or the included studies. It might be statistical analysis, which we normally call meta-analysis, and it can be the qualitative synthesis. Normally we call it systematic literature review. And the last characteristic, report of the review. After conducting all these things and careful consideration of all the characteristics, you need to report the result of the included studies. It is very important. You need to report all the steps, what you have done before and what you are doing, what kind of result you got it from the included studies. It should be clearly stated the aims of your research, describing the methods of the study, materials, and reporting the result of the included studies. The most important step, which is basically the today's presentation's aim, how to conduct a systematic literature review, what kind of steps are involved in conducting a successful systematic literature review. I hope after today's session we will be able to do a systematic literature review, however manually, or we will take a look on the softwares used for the conduction of systematic literature reviews. There are 7 steps involved in conducting a successful systematic literature review. We will take a look on every step one by one. The first one is define the research question. It is most important part of the systematic literature review. What is a research question? A research question is basically a clearly focused, concise, and arguable question around which your research is centered, or around your research will be conducted. Before the start of your study, you need to identify answerable research questions for your systematic literature review. Be careful, the question must be answerable. So you need to focus on something that literature should answer the questions. It not should be superficial, that you might be want to explore something that which is not done in the literature. You have to clear that systematic literature review is different from the practical researches. In systematic review or reviews, we have to report the result of the previously done studies. It's not something new. We have to report what the previously other researchers have been done. It is suggested that before the start of your systematic literature review, you just take a quick look of the literature in the field to see that what kind of researches have been done previously and what kind of questions are raised by the previously done researches. It might be helpful for conducting your systematic literature review. After the first step, after deciding what is your research question, what is your objective to conduct the specific systematic literature review, the second step is develop the review protocol. The review protocol is very important in conducting systematic literature review. What is review protocol? The review protocol basically the detailed plan for your systematic review. It provides us that a set of rational and methodologies. It involves the how you are going to conduct your research, how you will report your results, how you will run your searches. All these things should be write down before the start of your systematic literature review. In systematic literature review protocol, you should include that rational and objective your studies. your framework, your eligibility criteria, what kind of studies you are going to include and what kind of studies you are going to exclude, choice of sources. Choice of sources means that what databases you are going to include for your specific search. It might be one database, it might be more than 10 databases. It depends on the choice and depend on the nature of the research, nature of the systematic literature review which you are going to conduct. So it will be decided before the conduction of the practical research. So you have to decide what databases you are going to include and what databases you are not going to include, and how you will screen your records, how to extract your results, and you are going to synthesize the qualitative analysis or data analysis or the meta-analysis. Whatever the results, you need to report all the protocols, all the steps before the formal conduction of the systematic literature review. Be careful that each and everything need to be clear and it should be write down. The third and most important, that researcher believes that the systematical literature review are basically depends on the comprehensive searches. How to conduct, how to run a successful search in systematic literature review. We are mostly in this session, we are all from the domain of information management or library science, being information professionals. All of us knows about the search strategies and the different terms and different things. But sometimes we did not, being a researcher, we did not know the exact term or specific field or specific domain of subject. So we need to be more clear and focused before conducting our search. So search strategy need to be comprehensive. It should be unbiased. You need to search across a number of databases and gray literature. It depends on you. You have to decide what do you want to include and what do you want to exclude in your searches. What kind of search filter you are going to adopt to run your search, and it should be clear. You need to write down your search strategy, because whenever your research is done, you have to report all the search filters, you have to report all the search strategies. It will be helpful for the reviewers and it will be helpful for the researcher which they want to reproduce their researches. So in systematic literature review, it is important to write and save search strategies to be used in the next steps. So there are a number of steps involved in the comprehensive search strategies. The first one is develop a search strategy, adopt some specific search filter for specific databases. It might be a same search strategy for different databases, and sometimes researchers modify their search strategy according to the different databases across. Sometimes it's different for the search terms are different for different databases. So after selection of your appropriate databases, you run the searches, and you need to, as I have already told, that you need to document your search strategy because it will be used in the next steps. And at this step, you need to be very careful, and you need to review that did you get the related result from your searches or you missed something. So review at this step and modify or update your search if required. If you are satisfied, then go to the next step. Next step, after doing the search, you got results from your to conduct your systematic literature review. Screening is the important process in systematic literature review. In screening, the process of basically screening is the process of identifying which kind of study you are going to include in your systematic literature review. There are so many researches available in different databases. However, you have to select according to your predefined searches that what studies you need to be explore and what studies you need to be include in your databases. Most of the time, you need in your screening process, you need to remove the duplications and you need to screen the results to find out the most appropriate researches which will helpful to answer your research questions. It will reduce the risk of selection error and biasness. It will be good to do this process at least 2 researchers, including yourself. If you are one, then you have to involve someone else. If 2% do the screening process, so it will be add more trust and more reliability in your study. So screening of researches or screening process involves 2 steps. In first step, we do the title and abstract screening. In this step, you need to just take a quick look on the title and abstract to find out that the study is relevant to your search or not, and just adding the yes or no, and you did not add any specific reason provide for the exclusion. So you need to just add on after doing the title and abstract screening. However, in the second step, which is involved in the full text screening. In full text screening, you need to locate the full text of the included studies, carefully examine each one for compliance with your eligibility criteria. The reviewer should document the reasons for excluding any studies at this step, because whenever you submit your research, reviewers might ask for the why you exclude these kind of studies, why you did not include this study. So you need to report the exclusion reasons at this step. After that, the fifth step is critical appraisal. So critical appraisal is the process of carefully and systematically examining research to judge its trustworthiness and its values and relevance in a particular context in which you are doing your systematic literature review. So you need to be very careful that has the research which you are going to conduct is on the way that minimize the biasness. So someone can replicate the study using your methodology, or they can reproduce the same result using your research methodology. So the other step is that, is it relevant to your research question? It is very important that what I have already done by you, is it relevant to your research question? Result should be able to answer your research question or your objectives. Checklist for the appraising study qualities is another step which should be defined at the critical appraisal step. After these 5 steps, the most important and most hectic step and most interesting step is data extractions. So you have decided what kind of studies you need to include in your systematic literature review. Reviewers believe, or researcher believes, that in systematic literature review, 10 to 40 studies are best to conduct a systematic literature review. So you have decided that how many researches you will be including in your systematic literature review. Then you have to extract the relevant data. Relevant data, you have already defined your research questions. So according to their research question, you need to extract the answer from these included studies. So this step is very critical. If you are not able to get any relevant result, if you are not able to get any interesting result, so all the effort goes into vain basically. So you need to be very careful while extracting your data. Your data should answer your research questions. Before conducting the extraction, you need to be very careful about that. Extract only the relevant data. Don't do the mistake that this data is interesting, these results are interesting. Only cut or only mark the relevant data which is related to your research question. So don't do this step in hurry. Be cool and calm and collect only or mark only relevant data. It is good to create a data collection form. You might be creating Excel or Word or whatever program you want to create your data extraction sheet, and try to convert all the data on the same unit of measurements. So it will be helpful when you are going to report your results. The other step is make sure that your tables and headings and all the other things can be easily interpreted by the others. Don't use vague statements, don't use vague abbreviations and these kind of so. So you need to be careful at this stage. Make sure that abbreviation, if you use some abbreviations in the extraction form, give the clarification as a footnote or as a note or as a reference. And sometimes researchers suggested that before conducting the actual extraction, it is good to pilot your data extraction method. If 2 or 3 researchers are involved in systematic literature review, pilot your extraction method before you start, especially if you have 2-3 persons are doing the extraction process. Normally, when we conduct some systematic literature review, normal practice is that if the included studies are less, between 10 to 30, single person can do the work, single researcher. But if the number of included studies are more than 40 or 50, it's not possible for a single reviewer to extract data. So you need some standardization. So 2 or 3%, if they do, and you want to merge their results or their extraction, so it will not create any problem. It will be good to pilot your data extraction sheet. So if there is some confusion or some misunderstanding, it might be clear at this step, or it will not confuse while conducting or while reporting your results. And after these 6 steps, the most important or the basic part for which we are conducting or for which we are doing all the research is reporting our results and report writing. You need to report your specific and your, while reporting your systematic literature review or while writing down your systematic literature review, you have to report the clearly your purposes of conducting your specific systematic literature review, why you are conducting the specific systematic literature review. Is there enough data available to answer the already predefined your research questions? What is the significance of your systematic literature review? What are the methods you are using for your systematic literature review? Research methodology is very important while writing down the systematic literature review. You have to report all the steps clearly. Your search strategy, your search terms, your included databases, how many studies you title abstracts include for title abstract screening, how many full text screening, how many studies you extracted for included in your final systematic literature review. What is the inclusion criteria, what was the exclusion criteria, why you adopt a specific exclusion or inclusion criteria, because sometimes researcher adopt some specific exclusion or inclusion criteria, like you have to set some specific range of time period, sometimes you have to specific range of geographical limit, language limits, sometimes the population is concerned that you want to conduct a systematic literature review in scenario of libraries. So what kind of libraries you are collecting your data? Is it relevant to or related to academic libraries, medical libraries, sometime public libraries? We need to clearly define everything. You need to report everything in your methodology section. And most importantly, you need to report, if more than one researcher is involved, you need to report that which reviewer do which thing, which part is done by the single reviewer or which part is done by the both reviewer and more than 2 or 3 reviewer. So while writing down, you need to report your results, and you should focus that results should add something new. You don't need to only summarize that 5 researches report this. You need to provide the evidence, you need to provide the follow-up discussions as well. And while writing down your systematic literature review, it is good to provide the limitation. If some limitations is associated with your systematic literature review, so you should report that limitations as well. And the other suggestion is while reporting that future direction, if you can provide for the upcoming researchers or upcoming researches, it will be good and it will be add strength and significance to your research and your systematic literature review. So these are the basic steps involved in conducting a successful systematic literature review. 7 steps, and you need to be carry out each step very carefully. You can do it manually, and there are some softwares and tools are also available while conducting or while doing your systematic literature review. There are some softwares and tools are available, especially these tools are available to support the screening and data extraction process, but you can use these tools and software for the other stages and the other process of your systematic literature review. There are some specific systematic literature review softwares have specific functions to conduct the systematic literature review, like they can add machine learning, they can add the value of data analysis, visualization, and report writing tools as well. However, you can use the reference management tools and Excel or something normal program for different stages of reviewing. Why we need some systematic softwares and tools when we can do all the things manually? The 7 steps might be some of us thought about that, why we need to adopt some softwares if we can do it by our own or by ourselves. So why we need to adopt the software to conduct this? Maybe the software will miss something important, but the situation is different. When we adopt some software to conducting systematic literature reviews, it will help to organize the process of our efficacy and it speed up our work. It's very difficult to locate the thousands of sources by yourself and remove duplications. So with the help of these softwares and tools, it remove the duplications, which will be ultimately save our time. And most importantly, in systematic literature review, you have to report or you have to provide the Prisma graph or figure in your systematic literature review. So in software, specific systematic literature review software, it provides or generated Prisma figure. These software are user-friendly and they make it ensure that you did not miss anything, which is very crucial to your systematic literature review. There are there are 2 types of basically. There are some reference management software which we can use to help out our systematic literature review, and there are some specific softwares for systematic literature review. For the understanding, I made 2 different rows for different. And first one is reference management software. Being a researcher, all of us are familiar with these reference management software, EndNote, Mendeley, Zotero, and many other. We use time to time to conduct our researches, to manage our references, to manage our citations and bibliographies. So you can use these tools while conducting your systematic literature review. It will be helpful and save your time. However, there are some specific software which are available to conduct a systematic reviews. I have provided the list of some of them, that Covidence, EPPI Reviewer, EPPI Manual, and different software. They are listed here. However, in today's session, we will take a quick look on the Covidence software, which is used for the conduction of systematic literature review these days. It's very important and very popular software, which is available at covidence.org. The popularity and the reason behind the popularity, its interface is very user friendly, and the feature make it very comfortable to use for the researcher, because I have already told that it's user friendly. It's automatically remove the duplications, and it support the uploads from EndNote, support the uploads from Google Scholar. And you can import your researches or your searches in Covidence from a range of different databases. And give the option to double screening. Double screening, we have previously discussed that there are two parts of screening. We can do the abstract and title screening, and then we will do the full text screening. So in Covidence, it is possible to do the both screening part in this software. It automatically generates the Prisma figures, so you don't need to do anything. You don't need to write down your references. It automatically do everything for you, and you can easily manage your quality appraisal in Covidence software. So just for a reference, you can do the Covidence software. Covidence.org is the official website. You can download the free trial. You can't download, basically. You can manage your account. You can click on the free trial. It's a simple step to create your account. Just provide these details and your account will be created. Things to remember before start working on Covidence. In Covidence, you can do all the things comprehensively. However, you need to be considered some steps that while creating your systematic literature review, you have to write down the name for your systematic literature review. So the name of your review should be unique. It should not be the common name. The other thing is be careful while during your settings. And the import format, Covidence support RIS and XML formats. So be careful when importing your searches in Covidence. Carefully select the source for import. We will discuss it in the next slide. Reviewer setting is important. Be careful while setting the reviewers. We need to clarify the different steps. Which step is done by reviewer 1, reviewer 2, or whatever you want to decide. You can manage inclusion and exclusion criteria in Covidence as well. So when you create your account, this kind of window will be open to your screen. You can click on the start a new session and this kind of window will open. You can name your systematic literature review, decide the review type. It can be systematic review, scoping review, umbrella review, simple review, meta-analysis, whatever the concern or related review type. Select the concern related type. Area of research, I selected arts and humanities. You can select social sciences, medical sciences, physical sciences, whatever your systematic literature review is relevant, you can select and then click on the create review and your review is created. You can add the reviewer settings at this stage, that how many reviewers are required for screening process. You can add 1, 2, 3, whatever you want to do. You can set the criteria for reviewers and all the other things here. It's a simple steps. It's basically, you can get it from the screen. You can add the reviewer, invite another reviewer, or you can do all the things by yourself. It's not compulsory to add someone, or single reviewer can do the systematic literature review in Covidence as well. So there is no objection from the Covidence that if you want to independently done some systematic literature review, you can do it. However, they provided the option, if you want to add some reviewer, you can invite and they can do the same work with you in a same systematic literature review. After that, you can import. I have already told that we can import our searches in Covidence. Just click on the import button, your searches will come in. Be careful while importing. So at what stage you are going to import your searches? You can import in screening process. You can add in abstract and title process screening. You can add in full text screening as well. And sometimes you can add in the other stages as well. So you need to import, select the clearly in which section or in which step you need to import your searches. And source is written down as optional here, but I suggest that it is very important. You need to clarify your databases. Basically, source means which databases searches you are importing. If you are done from the sorry, I just forget the name. Whatever database, Lisa, Lista, someone, which, whatever, even from Google Scholar. So you need to select the appropriate source here. You can manage the sources by manage sources. You can add or remove some sources. They provide the option. After selecting the appropriate source, just click on the choose file and your sources are imported, and just import your relevant sources. After that, you can able to title and abstract screening. You can just continue. These kind of window will open. You can, after taking a look on the title and the abstract, you can decide will this study is relevant to your systematic literature review or not, include or exclude, duplicate. You can add some notes. You can add to your studies to screening process. You can mark, you can add the criteria, add some filters, add some highlights to enhance your visibility. So there are so many options you can play and you can learn from Covidence, and it's very interesting to do the work in Covidence. You just need to at a beginner's researcher, you need to click on the include or exclude. After that, title and abstract screening, the next step, we have already discussed that the next step is full text screening. So in full text screening, you need to provide the reason. If you are not including the study, if you are excluding the study, Covidence asks for the reason why you are not including this study. Before you said that it's relevant, but in full text you said that it's not relevant to my specific research. So what is the reason behind this? Is this the they provide some relevant reasons? However, you can edit this list according to your preferences or according to your specific criteria. So it might be population is wrong. It might be your set criteria that the date of publication is different, results are different, the methodology is different. So reasons are lots of reasons, and reasons are different. You can select appropriate reason for exclusion criteria if you are not going to add this study after the full text. After that, you can extract the relevant studies. In extraction, Covidence provide you that create data extraction templates. It provides some data extraction templates. You can select, you can modify these templates as well. If you want to add some columns, if you want to delete some columns, if you want to add something, you can easily modify these extraction templates. It will be very helpful while conducting extraction with the help of Covidence. You can also create quality assessment templates in Covidence as well. It's very easy and it's very helpful and very enhance your research capability with the help of Covidence. So after that, as I already told you that these kind of software help to automatically generate Prisma graphs. So after that, you have done or you have extracted data from your included studies. Covidence generate the Prisma figure. You can copy or you can download as docs format from the Covidence software. These kind of figure is provided. It provides comprehensive steps, comprehensive details of every step. Studies from which databases, total studies, and separately provided that how many studies from specific databases. In my cases, it suggests that the 7 studies from Scoopers, 7 studies from Google Scholar, and total 14 studies were extracted. In reference from other sources, no reference from other sources. You can add, if you have added some reference from the references or bibliographies or manual searches, so they will show here. After that, reference removed, how many reference, it will provide the reasons. How many duplicates are removed, how many marked duplicates manually, automatically how many searches are removed. So all these details, you did not do anything. These steps are managed by the Covidence by backend process. You just import your searches, mark your included and excluded searches, and these kind of Prisma is all automatically generated. So how many studies screened, how many exclude, how many include. If you provide some reasons for exclusion, they will also provide. And finally, how many studies you include for your systematic literature review. It will provide all these things in your comprehensive form. So you can, after that, you need to take the data sheet of your work, what you have done. So there are some options. You can download the references of included studies. You can download the title and abstract studies. You can download the detail of the final included studies. There are some options that which format you need to download your file. So after that, select appropriate references or whatever you want to download. Select the appropriate file, and then you will able to download the relevant file. These type of files or form of sheets will be open. In case if you download the included studies detail, see that it provide the title, author, abstract, publication year, journal name, volume, issue, pages. If they provide some DOI or reference, of evidence automatically add the evidence reference number, the study details, and if you add some notes or text, it will also add. So you can simply download this, use this data. It's not possible to do all these things manually. It's possible, it's not impossible basically, but it will time consuming. Whatever you have done in Covidence in 2 months, if you want to do manually, you need at least 4 to 5 months. So the efforts are half if you use some software while conducting systematic literature review. So this is all for my side. These are the references which we have used for today's session for your further studies. If any question? Thank you.
Thank you so much, Faiza. We have a question answer slot at the end of our session. Thank you so much. It was really interesting session. Now I would like to invite our second resource person, Dr. Irfan Ali. He is a librarian at the University of the Punjab, Lahore. Dr. Irfan. Okay, he is skilled in metadata analysis and systematic literature review, and he has published several articles in high-ranked journals. So please, Dr. Irfan, start your session.
Thank you very much, Dr. Taiba, for your nice words. And thank you very much, Dr. Lily and Professor Dr. Nosheen Fatma Udaich, for providing us a wonderful platform for delivering a lecture about meta-analysis and best practices and tools used in meta-analysis. Let us start my presentation. I am sharing my presentation on screen. Today's topic is mastering the art of systematic literature review and meta-analysis techniques, tools, and best practices. It is the part second of workshop series. Here is the outline of my presentations. Type of reviews, systematic review, meta-analysis. Here is a basic concepts and advantages of the meta-analysis and systematic review, and the comparison of the traditional review and meta-analysis, and steps involved in the meta-analysis and methodology used for meta-analysis, like Prisma. And the most important part of my presentation is the statistical analysis in meta-analysis, and the software used for meta-analysis, and data analysis practices, and best practices in meta-analysis. Basically, my presentation is consisted of mainly two parts. First part will be a theoretical, and second part will be a practical nature, and I shall demonstrate practically on a dummy data, and will demonstrate that how to use the specific software for analyzing meta-analysis. Here is the uh, I shall explain review types. Basically, there are three types of the reviews. First one is traditional review. Second one is the systematic review, and the third one is the meta-analysis. Traditional review, as you all know, that the traditional review is a comprehensive summary and synthesis of the existing research and scholarly literature on a specific topic, and we did not use any kind of rigorous method or structured method for traditional review. Here is the systematic review. Systematic review, a review that is conducted according to clearly stated scientific research methods and is designed to minimize biases and errors inherent to traditional narrative reviews. That is the most important point in systematic review, that systematic review follow a clearly stated scientific research method, as Dr. Faiza explained before. Here is the meta-analysis. A meta-analysis uh, is also like a systematic review, but a main difference in meta-analysis and systematic review is data analysis. In systematic review, we use textual data, and in meta-analysis, we use statistical data. So here is the main difference in systematic review and meta-analysis. Meta-analysis is the use of statistical techniques to combine and summarize the results of multiple studies that may or may not contain within a systematic review. By combining data from several studies, meta-analysis can provide more precise estimates of effects of healthcare than those derived from individual studies. So important point and important thing in meta-analysis is the use of statistical technique. We use any statistical technique by using specific softwares designed for the meta-analysis, and we combine the results of the published studies on a specific topic, on a specific research question or specific hypothesis, and we present the summary of summary or the effect size of on this specific topic for decision makers. Basically, a meta-analysis provide a comprehensive and panoramic picture on a specific topic instead of several results from on individual studies. Here is the simple definition of meta-analysis. We can also say these are the necessary conditions for conducting or starting meta-analysis. Meta-analysis is a little bit tricky, and its terminology is a little bit difficult. So I try my best to explain in simple ways and in practical manner. So I formulate very simple definition of meta-analysis. A combination of statistical results. First point of meta-analysis definition is the combination of the statistical results of selected studies on a specific topic that addressed same research questions or hypotheses using common statistical measures is called meta-analysis. So I can explain this simple definition with an example. Where is an example for conducting a system meta-analysis? For meta-analysis, first we need to formulate a topic. Suppose, for example, our topic is acceptance and use of technology in libraries using technology acceptance model, TAM model. After selecting our topic, we will formulate hypothesis according to the topic. After formulating the hypothesis, we will decide a statistical measure that will be used in selected studies. Here, our research question or hypothesis guide us. In this example, our hypotheses are about the relationship between time variables. We will select Pearson correlation value. In this scenario, we will search those studies related to acceptance and use of technologies in libraries using TAM model, and these studies also applied Pearson correlation to know the relationship between TAM variables. After searching these studies, the value of the Pearson R and sample size will extracted from all the selected studies. After this, data will be analyzed using the specific software. Here is an example of meta-analysis. A specific topic, basically, this is the explanation of the previous slide, simple definition of meta-analysis. Here is a specific topic is the acceptance and use of technology in libraries using TAM model, and the formulated hypothesis are that there is a significant relationship between perceived usefulness and attitude towards using technology in libraries. And second hypothesis is there is a significant relationship between perceived ease of use and attitude towards using technology in libraries. And same as the third hypothesis. And the important thing is the common statistical measure. First, we will decide a common statistical measure. Then we will search search and include those studies on a specific topic. For example, the specific topic here is acceptance and use of technology in libraries using TAM models. And we will include those studies that has applied the Pearson correlation for testing the hypothesis. And then from all the selected studies, we will extract the value of Pearson and sample size of the study, and then we enter the data in the specific software for meta-analysis, and then we summarize the results of all the studies. That is called effect size. Here's the systematic review and meta-analysis advantages. Reduce bias. A simple narrative review. While conducting a simple narrative review, a traditional review, there are chances of biasness because researchers and because there is no structured methodology for simple literature review. On the other side, the meta-analysis or the systematic review followed structured methodology that is called the Prisma, reproducible. The meta-analysis and the systematic review studies are reproducible because meta-analysis and systematic reviews followed the structured methodology, resolve controversy between conflicting studies. In a single studies on a specific topic, for example, the acceptance and use of technology in libraries, and there are the many studies, a lot of number of studies published worldwide on this specific topic using the TAM model, and the findings and the relationship of the time variables will have different results, different correlation values, and based on a single study, the result of the single study, decision maker or researcher cannot make any decision. But on a meta-analysis, on the other side, in meta-analysis studies, decision maker can make a valid decision because by combining the results of all the studies on a specific topic provide a comprehensive picture. And fourth one is the identify gaps in current research. While during conducting a meta-analysis or systematic review, it provides us to identify the gaps in the current research area on specific topic, provide reliable basis for decision making due to comprehensive nature of the meta-analysis and the combined effect size. Decision maker can make a valid decision instead of the results of single studies conducted in different parts of the worldwide, where the comparison of the traditional review and the meta-analysis or systematic review. Narrative review is descriptive in nature. In narrative review, researcher describe the findings of already published studies. On the other hand, systematic review or meta-analysis provide synthesis data from quantitative studies into summary effect size, that is called meta-analysis. Number second is not involved systematic search. In simple literature review or narrative review, researchers did not follow any systematic search. They are not bound to search in any specific databases. They can search from anywhere, and they did not follow and search any search strategies and search keywords or Boolean operators. While on the other hand, in meta-analysis based studies, detailed search strategy and inclusion and exclusion criteria is involved. Number third, simple literature review can be confusing if similar studies have different results. If two or more studies on a specific topic and they have provided the different results, it can be confusing. On the other hand, meta-analysis or systematic review based studies provide a comprehensive picture, and that is the solution of that confusion, and decision makers can make valid and comprehensive decisions based on the meta-analysis. Number fourth, traditional reviews not involve structured or standard guidelines. On the other hand, systematic review or meta-analysis followed a structured methodology. Usually, meta-analysis and systematic review-based studies followed the PRISMA guidelines. I shall discuss in the coming slides in detail the PRISMA guidelines. Number fifth, and this is a very important, the traditional narrative reviews have less publishing opportunities, while on the other hand, systematic review and meta-analysis based studies have a wider chance of publishing in good journals and impact factor journals. Here is I provided an example. Mostly journals welcome the systematic review and meta-analysis based studies. Here is an example of Computer and Education and International Journal, and its impact factor is 12. And this journal write and in its scope that this journal welcome the meta-analysis and the systematic review-based studies. Sixth point is the biasness. There may be a biasness in traditional reviews because it did not follow any structured methodology. On the other hand, systematic reviews or meta-analysis followed a systematic methodology or structured methodology like PRISMA, and there are less chances of biasness. And traditional and narrative literature review cannot be reproduced because it did not follow any structured methodology. On the other hand, systematic review and meta-analysis based studies can be reproduced because meta-analysis based studies followed structured guidelines, and these guidelines can be reproducible. Here is the key points while conducting the meta-analysis. First one is the main difference between systematic review and meta-analysis is data analysis. In systematic review, we extract a textual data and we usually apply qualitative analysis or thematic analysis. But as compared to this systematic review, in meta-analysis, we extract a statistical data in number format and then we apply a specific software and analyze the data in statistical form. This is the main difference between systematic review and meta-analysis. Number second, a statistical method that is used to combine the results of different studies with different sample sizes and different results. Meta-analysis, as I discussed in the previous slides, meta-analysis is the process of combining the results of different studies on a specific topic and on a specific hypothesis or research question, and and different studies published in the different parts of the world have different results and different sample size. And in meta-analysis process, we combine these sample size and results of the specific statistical analysis. Number third, an intensive literature search in the first step of meta-analysis. Although systematic review also followed this step, but in meta-analysis there is need an intensive literature search because we need specific studies on specific topic, and those studies that have applied a specific statistical analysis. So there is little bit tricky to find out the relevant studies on a specific topic and on a specific research question or hypothesis. And further, these studies also applied a specific statistical analysis, like in the case of the relationship, measuring the relationship, we will extract data of Pearson R value or the regression value. Number four, in meta-analysis, those studies are selected that applied common statistical measure. Common statistical measure means after selecting a specific topic, we formulate the hypothesis and then we decide a specific statistical method according to the formulated hypothesis, and we will select those studies that will apply the specific analysis, specific test. Like our title of our study is a relationship between A variable and B variable, then we will search those studies on a specific topic that has applied, that has identified the relationship between A and B and applied a specific test that is called, for example, the Pearson or the regression coefficient. Number six, data analysis is performed by using software. In meta-analysis, there is need a specific software to analyze the data, while on the other hand, in systematic review, we can manually analyze the data by using the mathematical method. This is the PRISMA methodology. PRISMA, basically, this is the methodology we used to conduct the systematic review or meta-analysis based studies. for both type of studies, systematic review or meta-analysis, researchers usually use the PRISMA methodology. PRISMA basically is a guideline provided for conducting systematic review and meta-analysis. PRISMA is an evidence-based minimum set of items for reporting in systematic review and meta-analysis. PRISMA is used for reporting of review, evaluating randomized trials, but it can also be used as basis of reporting systematic review. PRISMA can be used for both type of studies, for systematic review and meta-analysis. And here is the website of the PRISMA. You can visit this website, and here is a detailed guideline for each step, that how to perform each step, and complete guideline is provided, and researcher can follow this guideline for conducting meta-analysis or systematic review. And why PRISMA? And there is a question that why we need to use the PRISMA for conducting the meta-analysis. There is many reasons. For authors, PRISMA aims to help authors improve the reporting of systematic reviews and meta-analysis. Basically, it provides authors guidelines for conducting meta-analysis or systematic review. For journals, peer reviewers, and editors, PRISMA may also be useful for critical appraisal of published systematic reviews, although it is not a quality assessment instrument to gauge the quality of a systematic review. With the help of the PRISMA, the editors of the journals and the reviewers can check the quality of the systematic review or meta-analysis, because PRISMA provided a structured methodology and structured guidelines, and by following these guidelines, the studies can be replicated, and it will provide the same results that has already been provided. So it is also useful for reviewers and editors. Steps involved in meta-analysis and systematic review. These are the steps of PRISMA. These steps are already discussed in a previous presentation by Faiza. So I shall explain one by one in simple way. First step of starting point of the systematic review or meta-analysis is the research question. The first step in meta-analysis is to formulate tentative research questions. A point to be noted that these research questions will not be final research questions. At the first stage, these research questions will be tentative. These may be changed after searching, and these may be improved after searching. After formulating the tentative research questions, the second step is the preliminary search. For checking the feasibility of the study, a preliminary search will be conducted to know the situation of relevant studies in previous literature. If the reasonable number of studies on this specific topic or specific research question you have formulated are available, then you can proceed for third step. If the reasonable number of studies are not available relevant to the formulated research questions at the first step, then you need to redefine your research questions, and in the many cases you have to change your topic or redefine your research questions. So first step is the tentative research question. After preliminary search, there is the third step. If you find that there are reasonable number of studies are available on a specific research questions you have formulated at the first step, you will follow the third step. Third step is the inclusion and exclusion criteria. After verifying the availability of reasonable number of studies on a specific topic, inclusion criteria and exclusion criteria will be formulated we can define inclusion criteria and exclusion criteria in different ways. Inclusion criteria may be based on the time span of the published studies, such as studies that have published for example, 2015 and 2023. You can set inclusion criteria as a type of the source, like articles, books, uh, review types, conference proceedings. Another criteria of inclusion is the language. You can choose language at your ease. For example, usually researchers choose those studies that is published in English language, and there are many other criteria that researcher can include or exclude the studies. After defining the inclusion and exclusion criteria, the fourth step is the defining the search strategy. The fourth step of meta-analysis is formulating search strategy using appropriate keywords and Boolean operators. You have to choose specific keywords related to your topic and research questions, and combining these keywords using Boolean operators. Uh, and after formulating the comprehensive search strategy, next step is the searching database. In searching the database, first you have to select the database uh, from which you will conduct search using the search strategy. I shall divide. I divided the databases in two parts, two main categories. First category is a generic databases, general databases like Web of Science, Scopus, maybe Google Scholar, and there are also subject-specific databases. Uh, you have to select subject-specific databases based on the relevancy of your topic. Suppose your topic is related to the education, then you will select ARIC database to search the relevant studies. If your topic is related to library and information science, the subject-specific databases will be LISA or LISTA. It is on the part of the researchers to decide the databases. After deciding the databases uh, uh, and entering the search strategy and this searching the studies, uh, the results of the studies will be imported in any softwares, in citation management software, maybe the EndNote, Mendeley, or any other citation management softwares. And at the first step in searching databases, the researcher will arrange these studies in alphabetical orders, and the duplication will be removed. And then there is a sixth step. Sixth step basically is the protocol writing, approval from supervisor, and then registered it. And there is many registered available for registering the systematic review and meta-analysis. The one main benefit of registering the your topic or your systematic review or meta-analysis is to avoid the duplication publishing process. But mainly the researchers from the medical fields follow this step. In the library and information science field, I did not find any registered protocol. So I usually, during conducting my systematic review or meta-analysis, I usually skip this, and this is not necessary for the social sciences background. This is for the medical background researchers. Next is the seventh step. Seventh step is about the screening of title and abstract based on inclusion and exclusion criteria, researchers will also provide the number of studies, the remaining studies after screening the titles and abstract. Irrelevant studies will be removed and report the number of selected for full text reading. After this, the eighth step is the full text downloading and screening. Remaining studies from the seventh step will be downloaded in full text for screening and screening the full text. After screening the full text studies, the ninth step is the manual search. Usually, when researchers search in the databases using a search strategy, there are chances that uh, the there are chances that the relevant study may not be included in the search. So to minimize these chances, there is an option available, manual search. You can also conduct a manual search in Google Scholar, in Google, or you can use the backward citation criteria and forward citation criteria to search manual search. You can read the full text study, the reference list of the full text studies, and check one by one if relevant study find you can include in your meta-analysis or systematic review. So manual search is also helpful to minimize the chances of excluding any relevant study. And then it is the 10th step, data extraction and quality assessment. Data extraction is a very important step in meta-analysis. Before data extraction, you have to design a data extraction form. Data extraction form, there may be many columns. For example, first column will be citation of the study, and second column will be year of publication of the study, and third column will be the sample size of the study. Fourth column will be statistical value. For example, the Pearson correlation, if your topic is related to the relationship between A and B, then you will extract the value of the Pearson. But important point is that the necessary column in data extraction field is sample size and the value of the test, for example, the Pearson R, and the citation of the study. These three columns are the necessary for conducting meta-analysis, because without these three columns, later on you cannot analyze your data in the software, and software is required the value of the test and the sample size. If any one is missing, you cannot conduct meta-analysis. Number 11 is the data checking task. You can double check the extracted data, and number 12 is the statistical analysis. Statistical analysis, in the case of the systematic review, there will be usually qualitative analysis, thematic analysis. In the case of the meta-analysis, there will purely a quantitative analysis using the software. And number 13 is the double data checking. You can double check the extract data and analyze data. And the last step is the manuscript writing, revision, and submission. So here is the Prisma flow diagram. This diagram is like that Faiza already explained through the software. Here is the three main steps: identification, screening, and included. At each step, you have to provide the number of studies and the name of the databases you have used to search your studies, and Here is the screening records, excluded studies, and this is the whole process of searching and scanning the title, deleting the duplication, and at the end stage there is the included studies in your systematic review and meta-analysis. So here is the very important part of the meta-analysis. Basically, from this slide, a difference started between systematic review and meta-analysis. In the previous slides I discussed, basically those slides are related to the systematic review and meta-analysis. Both uh, we use Prisma for both type of studies, but here is difference started between meta-analysis and systematic review. Statistical analysis in meta-analysis. In meta-analysis, there are very complex terminology used, but I tried to make it simple and in different phases, in different steps. After explaining the 4 phases of the data analysis, I shall demonstrate these 4 steps on dummy data using the 2 softwares. First software is a freely available, and second software is a commercial software and paid software. I shall demonstrate on these softwares. Phase 1 is the heterogeneity testing and model selection. After heterogeneity testing and model selection, phase uh, of meta-analysis. The second phase is the publication bias analysis. Third phase, forest plot, and the fourth and last step of meta-analysis in the hypothesis testing are providing the effect size. Uh, First step, meta-analysis phase 1, heterogeneity testing and models selection. What is the heterogeneity? Heterogeneity is in meta-analysis refers to the variability or differences in the results of the studies included in analysis. Suppose we have selected 20 studies on a specific topic, and their results on a specific statistical analysis will be different. And if there is enough variation in the results of these studies, we can say there is heterogeneity in the selected studies. We can test the heterogeneity in selected studies by using the software by applying specific statistical analysis. Here are the few tests of the measuring the heterogeneity. First one is the I-square. I-square test statistics, which quantifies the percentage of variation across studies that is due to the heterogeneity rather than by chance. If there is the value of the I-square is the 0% to 40%, that it might not be important. It's mean that there is no heterogeneity. If the value of the I-square between 30% to 60%, there may be represent moderate level of heterogeneity. If the I-square value is a 50% to 90%, it may be represent substantial heterogeneity. And if there is a 75% to 100% I-square value, so we can say that heterogeneity exists in the results of selected studies. If there is a heterogeneity in the results of the selected study, we will choose the random effect model. If a heterogeneity is not occurred in the results of the selected studies, we will choose the fixed effect model. Basically, before applying any analysis in the meta-analysis software, we have to choose a model. Basically, there are 2 models. First one is the random effect model, and second one is the fixed effect model. So heterogeneity analysis tells us that which model we will use for subsequent analysis in meta-analysis. The second test of measuring the heterogeneity is the t-square. T-square, a higher t-square indicates greater heterogeneity. It is a very simple test. A second phase, after measuring the heterogeneity, testing and deciding the and selecting the model for subsequent analysis. So second phase, we will identify or measure the publication bias analysis. So before conducting publication bias analysis, we will see that what is the publication bias analysis. Meta-analysis is the process of synthesizing the results of studies. If there is biasness in selected studies, it will affect the results of meta-analysis. So what is the biasness in the selected studies? Main reason of publication here is the many reasons, but main reason in publication bias is the high chances of publishing studies with large effect size and significant result. Usually, the researchers or authors uh, used to publish those studies that have the significant results between two variables, and the reviewers and editors also prefer to publish or accept those studies that have significant relationships. If we select all those studies that have the significant relationship, and then we analyze meta-analysis, then there is a biasness in the studies. So we will have to check a publication bias before conducting a further analysis. So how we can test the publication bias in the results of the selected studies? There are basically two methods. First one is the funnel plots. Funnel plot is the graphical method to measure the publication bias. Graphical method provide two types of the funnels. First one is the symmetrical funnel. If the plot is symmetrical, it suggests no significant publication bias. Large studies should be near to top and clustered around the true effect size, with smaller studies spreading out evenly on both sides as you move down. I shall show you the symmetrical funnel plot and asymmetrical funnel plots in the demonstration of the software. A second one is the asymmetrical funnel plot. If the plot is asymmetrical, it indicates potential publication bias or other biases. Typically, there might be a lack of small studies showing negative or non-significant results. There is the second method of measuring the publication bias. Second test is the Rosenthal's fail-safe N. What is Rosenthal's fail-safe N? A statistical method to calculate the required number of studies to be incorporated to make the p-value insignificant. If you choose any topic and formulate hypothesis to conduct the meta-analysis, you extract data from different studies and apply a specific test in the meta-analysis software, and you find there is a significant results and p-value between the relationship of A and B. Then you will apply the Rosenthal's fail-safe N. It will provide that there is a certain number of studies that have non-significant results to nullify the results of current meta-analysis. Here is the third phase of the meta-analysis. Third phase of the meta-analysis. Basically, first two phases are the prerequisite of the meta-analysis. That's the heterogeneity testing and model selection. And second step is the publication bias analysis. Third step, here is the actual analysis started here for meta-analysis. third phase is about the forest plot. Forest plot provide a visual summary of the data from multiple studies showing both the individual study results and the overall combined effect. Forest plot is the basically is the graphical format of the results of individual studies. Uh, the data already extracted for analyzing a graphical uh, forest plot will show provide us the summary of the individual level, and at the end of the forest plot it will provide a combined effect size by calculating the all the effects relationship from all the studies will provide a combined effect size or summary effect size. Basically it is the visual representation of the combined effect size. The fourth one and the last one is hypothesis testing and effect size. It is the last part of meta-analysis. The last phase of the meta-analysis is testing hypothesis and calculating effect size between two variables. I shall demonstrate that how can we test the hypothesis and all the four phases of data analysis in meta-analysis. So here is the softwares for meta-analysis. There are a large number of softwares available on internet you can use for meta-analysis, but here is the I enlisted two softwares because these two softwares are user friendly and you can use, even you can learn through self-learning. First one software is the Meta Essentials. This software is freely available on this website, and the user manual of this software is also available that provides the researcher that how can we apply a specific test and how can we interpret this test. This is a freely software. Basically this is not a software, this is a tool. This is the Excel based software. Simply you put your data in Excel file, and within a few seconds it provides all the results, all the four phases that's already discussed, four phases results in a single Excel file. So this is the very easy and user-friendly software. And the second one software is the comprehensive meta-analysis that is called the CMA software. This software is a paid software. However, the trial version and with limited capabilities is also available on this website. The user manual for this software is also available. The videos are also available on their websites. The trainings, workshops are also conducted on this software to develop this software. Here is the data analysis practice using dummy data. I have entered a dummy data in an Excel file, and I shall perform all four phases on this data, and I shall explain that what is the heterogeneity and where we can see the value of I square, Q square, T square. And second phase, I shall provide the testing of the publication bias. I shall show you the funnel plot, what is the funnel plot, and horizontals, fail-safe, and analysis and its value. And the third phase, I shall test and provide you the forest plot, summary of the results of the individual studies and combined effect size. And at the last phase, I shall provide the hypothesis testing and the which values and which tests are involved in the hypothesis testing. So I am sharing the screen. So I'm sharing the screen. So I shared this file is basically this is the Excel file. This is the dummy data I am using for demonstration that how we can use the software for data analysis in a meta-analysis. There is first column is the citations of the study. Second column is the correlation, and the third column is the sample size. So suppose our hypothesis is I am sharing again the hypothesis of suppose our hypothesis is the perceived ease of use has a significant relationship between behavioral intention to use artificial intelligence in libraries. So here are the two variables: perceived ease of use and behavioral intention, and the context of the study is the artificial intelligence use or acceptance in libraries. And suppose we have extracted uh, the data from selected studies, and we have extracted this data. This is the data of citation of studies and correlation and sample size. This is the necessary data for analyzing in meta-analysis. So first, I am running the software that is called the Meta Essentials. I'm sharing this screen of Meta Essentials. This is the interface of the Meta Essentials software. This tab is the basically input tab. Input tab in this sheet, we will enter the data from the selected studies that has extracted. So first column is the study name, second one is the correlation, and third one is the number of subjects mean sample size. We can simply enter the data or copy paste from our Excel sheet. We will copy this data, copied here the citations, and then we will copy the value of the correlation that has extracted from previous studies. And now we enter the sample size extracted from the studies. So we have enter the data. We will wait few seconds, and first phase one was measuring the heterogeneity analysis. Here we see this tab, forest plot. If we see this part, that is the heterogeneity analysis. Heterogeneity analysis, that is the value of the I-square. It means that the 90%, the value of I-square is 91%. It means that heterogeneity between the in the results of the selected studies is existed. Here is the descriptive analysis. Number of subjects mean the total sample size in all the studies, and the included studies, the number of studies is the 11 studies. There is the heterogeneity analysis, and at the second stage based on the heterogeneity analysis, the heterogeneity is existed. We will choose the random effect model. This tab is the publication bias analysis. Publication bias analysis, where we select the random effect model. Random effect model. This is the funnel plot. Funnel plot. Uh, uh, this provides us that the results of the selected studies are symmetric or asymmetric. So it seems that the results of the studies are symmetric and it is spread over the funnel plot. It provides us judgment about the publication bias, but we can check the Rosenthal value from next is the Rosenthal.
Dr.
Yes.
Irfan, we are running out of time. Actually, we need another session to understand these all technicalities and practice. Try to conclude it so we can take questions from the
Okay.
audience.
Okay.
Thank you so much. I enjoyed it a lot, but we have some time limitation.
So here is the value of the Rosenthal's fail-safe test. You can use this software. Here forest plot. Hypothesis testing, you can report the value of combined effect size. Here is the value of the correlation. Correlation, you can report overall effect size, overall correlation, the confidence interval, the upper limit and the lower limit, and you can report the effect size of hypothesis. And here is the p-value of the hypothesis. Hypothesis is the significant and value of the correlation is this one. So I conclude my session. Here is a few best practices in meta-analysis already published. I have published 4 to 5 meta-analysis based studies using these softwares and these steps and these phases under the supervision of Professor Dr. Noshin Fatma at the Department Institute of Information University of California. So that is all from my side, and over to you.
Thank you so much, Dr. Irfan. It was very informative and technical session. Now, dear participant, we have a time slot for questions. And if you have any question, please feel free to ask by your mic or by posting a message, please.
You can ask it by unmute your mic, or you can type it in your chat box.
Hello.
Yes, Dr. Saima, we are listening you. Please ask.
Okay. I have question from Dr. Faiza. Dr. Faiza, what to do if after search we got large or sometimes very less data as a result? And why this exclusion criteria is that important?
Dr. Faiza, please.
Thank you so much, Dr. Saima. It's very important question. When we are conducting systematic literature review, we face this kind of problems. That's why I said in my slide that before conducting your actual research, do some quick search of literature. So you know that what happened in the literature, what published in the previously literature, what kind of researches and what kind of research is doing by the researchers. So if you get very few researches, you need to modify your research questions. And if you get too many searches, you need to add some exclusion criteria. You can minimize add some more restrictions, like you can add some time period specifications. Sometimes you add some geographical locations, and language barrier is always there. But time period and time slot is very good option to minimize the searches and minimize the if you get a large amount of data. Another option is that if you get too many literature reviews, if you are working on some literature review and you get too many literature review, so you can conduct some scoping reviews and review of reviews as well. So there are some options. Thank you.
Dr.
Okay,
Irfan, please stop sharing your screen. Any question?
you may share your title page at this time. It will be beneficial for us to take some screenshots. Okay, participants, any other question from your side, please? Okay, thank you so much for joining us.
Taiba, I have one question to would be Dr. Faiza. Faiza, thank you so very much. I enjoyed your presentation a lot. Like you discussed a program that you used, I also registered in this program. That is a free version of that program. Do you face any kind of challenge to working this program when you are conducting your research? Like this is. Covidence, yes. When you are use Covidence, what kind of challenges, yeah, or you can say some guidance to use it more effectively?
Yeah, thank you so much, Dr. Sabha. Yeah, there are some limitations and challenges. If you did not get the comprehensive knowledge of Covidence, you will face some problems. Like if you did not get the comprehensive setting of reviewers, sometimes you opt the option that both researchers do the screening process, but actually one researcher is doing the process. So COVID did not allow that. They stop the process unless the other researcher do all the studies screened by the other researchers. So these kind of technicalities, while adopting or setting in your reviewer settings and in your inclusion and exclusion criteria, so you need to be careful during opt settings in Covidence. Otherwise, it's very user friendly and comprehensive.
Okay, thank you, thank you.
Thank you so
Do you
much.
have participant? Do you have any question for Dr. Irfan? Yes, I have a
Okay,
question. Yes, please.
I would like to invite you, but please, you may ask question. Hello, Dr. Nushin?
One question is that about the PPT of these sessions. Actually, the recording of this session will be available. So I don't think so. There's a need to share PPT of these sessions. The resource person can like tell us about it. But anyhow, after the session, you will find a link about the recording of this session.
Okay, now I would like to invite Professor Dr. Nushin Fatima, Chair Infolan and Director Institute of Information Management, University of the Punjab, Pakistan, for concluding remarks of this research workshop. Please, Dr. Nushin Fatima.
Thank you so much, Dr. Taiba. As we come to the end of our session on systematic literature review and meta-analysis, I hope you all gained valuable insight into this powerful research methodology. We begin by understanding the importance of systematic literature review in synthesizing existing knowledge, identifying gaps, and informing research questions. And Dr. Faiza specifically discussed the systematic process of defining research question, conducting comprehensive searches, screening and selecting study, extracting data, synthesizing finding, Remember, the systematic approach ensures transparency, rigor, and reproducibility in your review process. And definitely, it's strength that differentiated from other kind of reviews like narrative review or simple reviews or traditional reviews. We then delved into the meta-analysis, and Dr. Irfan like explained it in a very simple way, although it's a little bit technical, but he explained it very simple way. This is a statistical technique used to quantitatively synthesize data from multiple studies by pooling effect size across studies. Meta-analysis provide a estimate of the overall effect, enhances statistical power, and facilitate the generalization of findings. However, it's essential to consider the heterogeneity, publication bias, and other factor when interpreting meta-analysis result. This is very important before conducting any meta-analysis. Throughout our session, we emphasize the importance of rigor, transparency, and critical appraisal in conducting systematic reviews and meta-analysis. By establishing these guidelines such as PRISMA for systematic review and meta-analysis protocols, you can ensure methodological rigor and enhance the credibility of your research findings. And I'm delighted our both of resource person explained it in a very like simple manner and easy to understand for all of us. As we come to the end of our session on systematic literature review and meta-analysis, I hope you gained valuable insight into these powerful research methodologies. Next, come to finally, I invite all of you to explore these topics further, dive into the wealth of resources available, including academic journals, textbook, online courses, and workshops. And definitely this workshop, if you are new to this methodology, this workshop is a start of the introduction of new methods, and definitely you will explore with practice. You can contact our resource person and learn in different ways, engage with peers, mentors, and colleagues to exchange ideas, seek guidance, and collaborate on research project. Thank you for your active participation and thoughtful contribution throughout this session. I wish you all the best in your future research endeavors. Remember, systematic literature review and meta-analysis are not just methodologies. They are powerful tools for advancing knowledge and making meaningful contribution to your area of research or your field. At the last, I would like to thank our resource person, Dr. Irfan Ali, would-be Dr. Faiza Bashir. Special thank to SIG-III and SIG-InfoLearn and Dr. Taiba Rasool for moderating and organizing this session, and Dr. Lily for her support throughout the process. Thank you so very much. I'm expecting for these kind of workshops in the future. Please do suggest any other topic that is relevant to you, or you want to like learn or understand some other research related topics. Thank you so very much. All the best to all the researchers. Thank you.
Thank you so much, madam. Thank you very much. And thank you everyone for joining us. Hope you enjoyed this session and learn how and why to apply the systematic literature review and meta-analysis method. And again, thank you to SIG-III and InfoShare for organizing this innovative research workshop. Thank
There
you
are
very
some
much.
suggestions in the chat box, some sessions on SPSS and these kind of. Definitely, we will work on quantitative and qualitative data analysis software in the future, and we have noted it, and we will definitely plan some workshop in June and July in summer. Thank you so very much. Allah Hafiz. Bye.
Thank you, ma'am. Allah Hafiz.